Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It doesn't get much bigger than this as the Cougars look to earn a spot in the Big 12 title game as they take on UCF in Provo. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're going to chat with the play-by-play voice of UCF, Marc Daniels, coming up here in just a moment. Get his thoughts on this team and what to expect from the Knights going into this one. You know what? It's still a Big 12 team. It's still a Big 12 team trying to get to bowl eligibility. I know we're talking a lot about Arlington and Texas Tech. You can't go to sleep on this team.
No.
I mean, you should win, and you should win by a decent amount. But, again, crazy things happen all the time in college football.
Yeah, they do have a couple conference wins. They beat Oklahoma State. They got the win against West Virginia. So this is the type of team that you just got to stay aware.
All right, joining us now, Marc Daniels. He is the play-by-play voice of UCF, kind enough to hang out with us. What's the vibe of your squad coming into this game against BYU with a chance to get to bowl eligibility?
Well, I think that's just it, that UCF's given themselves a chance to make this final game matter. A year ago, UCF played Utah. They were 4-7. It was tough to get motivated for that game, and it looked like it when they went out and played Utah and lost, despite Utah playing a fourth-string quarterback. I think this year, you've got a reason to keep yourself focused. It's a tough week with the holiday to prepare. They know they've got a massive challenge against a very talented BYU football team. But considering how the year has gone, I think you wanted to give yourself a chance to have this game mean something. It's a totally different vibe than it was last year in the sense that I don't think this team has quit at all. I think this team, remains engaged. They practice well. We've just battled a ton of injuries, and yet I still think Scott Frost feels like these guys come to practice and want to get better and give themselves an opportunity. I think they welcome the challenge of coming out to take on a great BYU team.
Man, I think this UCF team could be dangerous. I'm looking at the one-score losses to Kansas, the one-score loss to Houston. They get the wins against Oklahoma State, West Virginia. It does feel like they've still got more to give. I want to talk a little bit about the quarterback situation. Talk about Tayvion Jackson and talk about Fancher, because I watched a game with Fancher that I really liked him, tough-nosed kid against Cincinnati. But talk about the quarterback situation, what BYU fans should expect at LaVell Edwards Stadium coming up this weekend.
Yeah, guys, it's been hard because, I think Scott Frost's first year, you'd like to have identified somebody and have that quarterback take you through the season, and if it was a guy that had eligibility left, and be in a good spot for the second year. But we've been banged up all year at quarterback from the first game of the year where Cam Fancher got hurt, and Tayvion maybe was the guy that they had hoped would win the job in the fall camp, and then came in for Cam Fancher. Then he got hurt. Jakari Brown's a kid that has been here now for a couple of years. He was at Miami. He's been hurt. So we're down to two quarterbacks. And Tayvion Jackson's on 100%. He's played with a hamstring injury and a shoulder injury. He fractured a couple of ribs the game against Cincinnati, fought through it. So, he's been tough, but it's hard. He's got limited mobility simply because of the hamstring injury. Davie Belfort's a backup quarterback, a redshirt freshman, very limited experience. So we're challenged at quarterback. You've got to keep your quarterback healthy. You can't run him as much as maybe you'd like to, simply because you don't have any experience behind him. That's been a trickle-down effect on the rest of the offense. Our starting center is out and has missed the last two games. He'll miss Saturday's game. That has a trickle-down effect as well. We've had a guard that's out for the year. So those things add up. Got our starting running back, Miles Montgomery, back. He wasn't 100% last week, probably won't be 100% this week. So, if I had a guess of Scott Frost's offense, of how much of his offense is actually being used, I don't even know if it's a third. I think that he's been very somewhat conservative in the play calling this year because inconsistent play quarterback and injury is a massive part of it.
When Scott Frost returns to Central Florida, when a guy leaves and, there's the thought you can't go home again, but he does, and it seems to be very happy with his return to UCF. Was that something that the fan base rallied around pretty quickly, too, when he became available?
Yeah, I think, look, it was 2 years, but it was a memorable last season for Scott, his second year when the team went undefeated. And then it wasn't anything UCF did wrong. There was just a different situation for him. And then the stars kind of aligned. I've said it before. Gus Malzahn's a good man, good coach. It just didn't work at UCF. There were several things that came into play. When the job opened up, there were several worthy candidates. I think the athletic director, Terry Mahajer, felt a little bit of an obligation to at least engage with Scott, not necessarily be the only candidate. And I think Scott had to decide what he wanted to do. Scott had gotten out of coaching after Nebraska, was doing work with the Rams as an analyst, really liked his time in the NFL. And then I think maybe his wife was the one that kind of kicked him in the backside that said, look, you may never get this opportunity again. It's unique how the stars have aligned. You have to convince the decision makers at UCF, A, that you're the right guy for the job, and then B, that they should hire you. And then I think Scott kind of understood that message and then still to sell UCF on it. I think the fan base understands that. I do think what helps is that Scott has an idea who UCF is. We have to do things a little bit different because we're younger. We don't raise money at the level of some of our competitors in the conference because of how young our school is. So we have to play money ball a little bit sometimes. So I think you have to lean into some of those things. I think Scott understanding us, even though it was a number of years since he's been here, but I think he has an idea a little bit better than some other situations. Like I said, with Gus Malzahn, Gus, I think, did a lot of comparing to time at Auburn, and that's just not the case financially right now for UCF. So, is it guaranteed to work? I don't know, but I think that there's a good vibe. I think that people understand what Scott's trying to rebuild and trying to build for what we have resource-wise. I think winning 5 games is good. It's not anything that people are satisfied with, but I think people see that, hey, he got here late, 70 new players, didn't really get a chance to go through the portal. By the time he got here, most of the portal was already gone someplace else. Had to put a roster together. Now a full off season, both high school recruiting and be a little bit more aggressive in the portal. I think they're in a better spot. I think the program's in a better spot than where we were a year ago.
Last 3 weeks for Dylan Wade have been really good, Mark, very good, and had a nice game against Oklahoma State, but now takes the lead in terms of receiving yards for this team. So talk about the tight end, junior tight end, where he came from and what you've seen from him the last few weeks, and is he a guy that can carry some weight here at LaVell Edwards Stadium?
Yeah, Dylan's a really good guy. Played locally at an excellent high school. It's got a great program. Went up to Maryland and had success there. Saw an opportunity to come back home. Really enjoyed connecting with Scott Frost, and he's been great hands. The crazy thing is he's not healthy. This guy got hurt early in the season, missed a game, thought about shutting him down. He wanted to play, probably needs some work done when the season's over, and it's been so tough to get out there and play. You saw some speed last week. He had the 83-yard touchdown run, catch, and ran for about 55 yards. Then he had a big 50-yard catch on the final drive that set up the game-winning field goal against Oklahoma State. And Dylan's one of these modern-day tight ends that doesn't just sit there and block. He gets out there and probably is UCF's best pass catcher as far as his hands go, runs good routes, tough, looks to get mismatches. So he's been UCF's most consistent guy catching the ball with an inexperienced receiving core that plays a true freshman and some other guys that have not played a lot of Power 4 football. So Dylan's had a really good season, again, overcoming a ton of injuries. And I know UCF feels that they've got a talented guy that they expect to be a big part of their offense next year.
Malachi Lawrence has got a couple 2-sack games, but has gone the last couple games with a sack. Is he banged up, or are teams zoning in on him? What's his story?
Sorry for the broken record. He's broken. He's banged up big time. He and Nigel Lee Kelly, the two defensive ends, a couple of games ago, got hurt, and then we went to Texas Tech, and they weren't supposed to play, and they wanted to play. Get out there and play the best they can. Played last week. Both those guys, are constantly questionable. So they're not 100%. When they're healthy, I think they're good. I think UCF's defensive ends actually are pretty good when they're all healthy. Between those two guys, Jamal Johnson, Isaiah Nixon, they've got a good mix of guys that they rotate. But Malachi Lawrence and Nigel Lake just haven't been healthy, but they're out there. And good first step. Both guys can, rush the quarterback well. We know it's a challenge. BYU just doesn't give up many sacks. But those are two guys, if they're healthier, can certainly help UCF. The defense at times has played really well. You got to do a little bit deeper dive in the numbers, particularly you look at some games, the Texas Tech game, they jumped on us early. Baylor jumped on early. The Baylor game gave up a couple of early scores, and then they played really good defense the last, three and a half quarters. But when your offense isn't consistently moving the ball, puts more pressure on your defense, hence, you get some numbers that get it a whack. But again, they've been banged up. We got our starting nickelback, Braden Marshall, had the pick to steal the game last week. He was out with an injury. He just came back. So it's tough, guys. You're just trying to build a foundation, and to have the amount of injuries UCF has made it tough. But like I said, some guys are healthier this week, so we'll see if that kind of helps their preparation before, big challenge.
Mark, it feels like one thing we know is there's a lot of money in that Orlando area. How good has UCF been at going out and collecting that money? And as this turns into a money game, college football turns into a money game, do you feel like UCF's going to get competitive in this league with spending?
Yes, and I don't know. Meaning, yes, I think they're going to continue to grow the resources for football. I don't know, because the top level of this league, I don't know where we're headed, Hans, as far as, are we all going to follow a number? Is it unlimited? Are we signing that, College Sports Commission agreement? Are we going to abide by it? Or is it just we're going to kind of wink that we're going to abide by it and then just spend whatever we want? And I'm not picking on any one program in Southwest Texas. Right now they're doing what they're allowed to do. If it's going to be spend whatever you want, it's going to be challenging to see UCF in the upper third of the conference. If it's going to be, hey, we're all kind of around a number, then I think they're going to be competitive. One thing that Scott Frost and his staff and the AD decided was there's no reason to overspend on some areas where they started. They got in, Scott got hired December 18th. By then, guys, the portal, tampering's going on all the time. The portal was drying up. So they weren't going to overpay for position unless you thought, hey, can we win the conference championship? Do we need to go pay for left tackle? I think UCF decided, how are we going to be smart with our money? How do we maybe not spend as much this year to give us maybe a little bit more dollars next year? How do we just kind of put a roster together without overspending? And I think they did that, maybe a version of Moneyball. I think they got more. I know they have more money to spend next year. Fundraising is a little bit different. This school's not 150 years old. Some of UCF's largest donors are not alums of UCF. So it's a different type of relationship to get them into the program and to have the same vision. We're building a new tower in a partnership with Orange County here in Orlando. That's going to create more dollars, for the program as well. So we'll get there. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got to do a little bit different. I don't think Scott feels like he's hindered against the teams that we need to compete with. I think he's more excited, like, okay, I've got a full off season, although there's no off season. I got a full portal opportunity. I got a pretty good freshman class that I'm bringing in, decide on what guys we want to keep, and now be in a better shape. And guys, at least for UCF, without that second portal, for UCF, it's a better situation because we were losing kids in the second portal. And for us, one portal is going to be better. You have a better idea about what your roster is. Now, you got to make smart decisions coming up early January, but the elimination of the second portal, I think, is going to help a program like UCF. Kind of a long answer to your question. I think in time, yes. And an advantage that we do have is that there are a number of kids that maybe leave Florida because maybe they want to get out of the state and then want to come back home and like the idea of playing in Florida. So I think we'll always have a few players, both, in the early portal and even guys that played 3-4 years that, hey, I got 1 year left. I want to come back to Florida. That's one of the things UCF can lean into, of a guy that maybe was a 4-star recruit that went to some big brand, didn't play for a couple of years and wants to come back home. I think that's where UCF can have some success in the portal as well.
To reiterate your point, this is, you always go back and look at a season and be like, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. You look at Houston, you lose that game by 3. It's a 7-point loss to Kansas State. It's a close loss to Cincinnati. When you look at these individual games and say we just came up a hair short, when you win that game against Oklahoma State with that, down the stretch, a one-possession game that was close and you found a way to win, is there some confidence that you can build on, not just to end the season, but carry into next year as well?
Yeah, I think you hope so. I mean, the two frustrating games for UCF are Kansas and Houston. The Kansas game, we got first and goal to 2. We don't score in 4 plays. Yeah. That's the game that UCF should have won. The Houston football game probably should have won as well. If you win one of them, you got 6 wins. You go into a bowl. and you feel great about yourself. I think UCF can build some momentum. They want to be competitive and give themselves a chance this week against BYU. They know it's a massive challenge, but I think that Scott Frost feels like the players that they hope can come back, that they see what they're doing, they kind of get an idea about the picture. I think Scott's a great people person in being a straight shooter with players, and a lot of guys are excited about where the program's at. And there are some similarities to Scott's first year in 2016. We were winless in 2015. The team went 6-7 in 2016, got to a bowl game, and the next year were undefeated. Doesn't mean UCF's going undefeated next year, but I think that transition year and then getting a core group of guys that say we're the foundation, we've been part of this transition and building something, I think they feel pretty good about some of the core guys that they're going to bring back. And guys, that 2016 team, Mackenzie Milton is the hero at UCF for the undefeated season in 17. When he left after the bowl game, he was thinking about transferring back to Hawaii. He didn't like it. His teammates at times didn't like him, and he wasn't sure to come back. And Scott Frost told Mackenzie Milton, I can't convince you to come back. You have to want to come back, and you're going to have to win them over as a leader. I can't tell them to accept you as a leader. And, who knows if he doesn't come back. So sometimes you got to be lucky as well.
Well, Mark, I'm sure excited to get you here in Provo. When we get you down here, let's get you a flavor of Provo. And we've got a great Polynesian culture and community here in Provo. So I'm going to send you out to the Hungry Hawaiian. Get out to the Hungry Hawaiian in Provo and get that chicken katsu. They got an amazing sauce. They serve it with a couple of big scoops of rice, some mac salad. And or you could go with the combo plate. Their Kahlua pork is delicious. But let's get you a taste of Provo here.
So if I just drop your name, it's best table and everything, right? I mean, no questions asked. I just drop your name and that's it, right? They clear out the center table for us.
Or they charge you extra
and escort you out the building.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You
Now,
never know,
looking
Mark.
forward to it. I've been blessed to do a game there before football. Back when Blake Bortles came in late in the football game.
Oh yeah.
Did basketball. Love Provo, beautiful city, and we're back there for basketball. So excited to get out there. Looking forward to the trip this week.
Well, Provo loves you, and they love UCF. Excited to have you out here, Mark.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Sounds good. Thank you. There he is, the play-by-play voice.
He's been really fun to get to know.
Yeah.
And I join his show a couple times a year out there in Orlando, and I'm a little jealous of him.
I don't know.
He lives the life I wouldn't mind living.
We've got something special brewing here. With obviously Utah and BYU having tremendous football seasons, an NHL team that just put it on Vegas.
Oh, Mr. Cooley.
Yes.
Thank you for your
four goals, no big deal. A Jazz team that's been here forever and has got all kinds of tradition. Perhaps Major League Baseball coming down the pipeline here in the next 4 or 5 years. It just, when you think of Orlando, like what jumps out at you in terms of sports?
In Orlando?
Outside of, you got the Magic.
Yeah.
And, I don't know my geography well enough of Florida. What is that?
I don't know.
What
sports is not.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like doing a show there.
Not the stronghold.
That would be tough.
Yeah, sports is
because you
not
got a lot of
stronghold.
transplants too. That
you got a lot to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But sports and the Magic facility is just right in the middle of Orlando.
Yeah.
Pickleball really taken off.
Yep. Year-round pickleball.
Yeah.
Very little wind, so outdoor pickleball.
It seems like that would be more of a shuffleboard crowd.
A lot of shuffleboard. You saw me. I'm always shuffleboarding when I'm out in Florida.
Really?
Yeah. Did you not see the video of me and Amanda shuffleboarding?
I didn't. I guess I may have forgotten about that.
Yeah, there's a shuffleboard club in New Smyrna.
Are they ready for your level of competitiveness in the world of shuffleboard, though?
No, because they're all 80s. They're, 82.
Yeah.
But Amanda and I showed up, and they saw Amanda, and they were like, do you guys have a membership? We're like, no. They're like, well, that's okay. Let us go talk to the manager. You guys can come in here and play. And because I was like, hey, I love shuffleboard. We'd love to come play. Can we buy an hour? They're like, oh, do you have a because it's a membership only.
A membership shuffleboard.
They went and talked to the manager. Manager let Amanda and I out there.
Oh, my goodness.
It was a blast.
You are a Floridian at heart.
Yeah, I love it, man. And the winters hit here. And it's
yeah.
My old bones need the warmth.
By the way, Oklahoma State looks like they have found their man. hiring North Texas head coach Eric Morris. North Texas is hot this year. I think they've started the year 10-1, so you knew he was going to be the flavor of the month. And Oklahoma State looks like they have zeroed in on him, according to our good friend Brett McMurphy.
Hey, Cooper Bassett, Russell Tialavea, no, DJ Tialavea,
yeah.
Come on back.
We'll find
I
something.
texted Cooper Bassett. I was like, "You're always welcome in the state of Utah. There's got to be a job here for him."
Yeah.
Classic offensive line coach. All kinds of toughness.
And there's going to be some guys with ties to the state that will become available because Cal just blew out Justin Wilcox. And so you've got that staff that had Brian Harsin, Kyle Cephalo.
Cal just fired Justin Wilcox?
Yeah, I think Sunday.
They took Robert and I's son.
Yes, that's who I knew there was somebody that was supposed to come to Utah State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Famika,
that's who it was.
Famika was Broncos offensive line coach
Yeah.
in New Mexico.
Yes.
And was going to go up to Logan with Bronco, but got the call from Cal and veered off. That's why, man, it's always a gamble. Let me just tell you, if your wagon is hitched on Bronco Mendenhall, you may want to keep it hitched until something very secure comes around.
I mean, those guys that went to Oklahoma State, you're thinking, okay, come on, it's Mike Gundy. He's been there forever. They're not going to fire him. Well, guess what? They fired him. Justin Wilcox.
After like 6 games.
Yeah. You got a situation in Cal where Justin Wilcox has been there a long time, and he's got that thing turned around. Plus, there's not a lot of expectations. They're more concerned about what kind of rally they can go to more than football.
Yeah.
And but yet he gets shown the door. So, you think you go to some pretty safe places, but not really.
More concerned with a rally.
That's my bad. Sorry. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
The regular season comes to an end for Kyle Whittingham and the Utes as they hit the road for a battle against Kansas. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, we continue on getting you ready for BYU and UCF, your Cougar preview show, but it is also a Tuesday, which means we've got some tickets to hand out.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the three. Hey, hands! Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
There you go. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE, and you'll win a pair of tickets. See the Jazz and the Kings coming up on Friday, November 28th. Day after Thanksgiving. What better way to enjoy that than watching the Jazz and Sacramento go toe-to-toe at Delta Center?
Hey, can I – oh, man, I always wade into troubled waters. But I want to clarify something for people.
Yeah.
Because I think people have they've got maybe a misunderstanding of what a Gator roll is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's great.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay, because you're seeing BYU and Utah fans go back and forth with these plays where defenders are grabbing the leg and spinning.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw it on Saturday. I believe it was Cabea that grabbed the leg and spun. And it caused the fumble. Glasgow scooped it up. By the way, idiot officials.
Yeah.
Just idiots. You're in the open field. The ball comes out of the ball carrier's hand, and there's an idea. Maybe this is a fumble. You let the play out, and then you go to the review. You don't blow the whistle, end it, and then go to the review and overturn it.
Yes, 1,000%.
And that sucks because
that's kind of the standard.
Glasgow had the scoop and score, but these idiot officials wanting to look good in front of Cincinnati fans, they blow the whistle. Anyways, they go back And it was close.
Yeah.
At first view, I thought, oh, he's down. Even through the replay, I'm like, oh, man, there might not be enough there to overturn it, because if he's got the palm still on the tip of that ball and it hasn't jostled in the fingertips, even though it came off the forearm, they might not overturn that. Regardless, everybody is sending out this video of Cabella grabbing the leg and turning. And in response, everybody's sending out these videos of Logan Fano grabbing a leg and turning. It is so obnoxious to me that people think, well, this and this and this. A Gator roll, a dirty Gator roll, is when somebody is on the ground and you've got the heel or the lower leg locked up, and then you start spinning.
Yeah.
That's a Gator roll. If I'm coming in for a tackle and I've got a leg and the ball carrier is still trying to move forward, do you know the way I get him down with one leg?
Spin.
Is to spin.
Yeah.
That's the way to end the ball carrier. That's the way to stop the play. It's not me trying to be dirty. It's me trying to end the progress. So if anybody out there that's like, it's a Gator roll. If the guy is still on his feet and he's still trying to gain yards, and I've got him by a foot, or I've got him by a shin or a calf, as a defender, I will roll every time because I've got to stop his progression, and it's not illegal. Now, what's dirty is when he goes down and I hear the ball's dead.
Yeah.
And then I lock the foot and I roll. Now I'm trying to dislocate the knee.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems pretty simple.
That's a Gator roll.
Yeah.
That's dirty play. And it's just the stupidest thing to see people sharing videos. Well, look at Logan Fano. Now, aren't you guys a bunch of hypocrites? And you guys are leveraging these kids in tackling efforts to try to make each other look good. You're all a bunch of idiots. Gator rolls are disgusting and horrifying, but they're unique because the ball carrier is down, laying on his back, ready to get up, and then you see the guy tuck the ankle and twist and turn. That's a Gator roll. I would call it out, too. If I saw a Gator roll,
oh, yeah.
If Cabella or Fano or anybody else actually Gator rolled with the intent to injure, I'm calling that out because I don't like that. Even though, it may have crossed my mind a couple of times as a defender because you're like, this guy is killing me, and it'd be better if he was off the field.
Let's just see how strong that knee is of Thomas Jones.
I don't think I heard the whistle. You heard the whistle. Was that the whistle? He was down. He was down. Yeah, but was he? But I wanted to make sure he was down for good.
I mean, for good.
But this business of people thinking that bringing a ball carrier down, I was in the booth. I watched that play. I saw him grab the foot. I thought he was going to miss the tackle.
Yeah.
Because I thought that ball carrier would pull the leg out. And he rolled with it. And the ball carrier, kind of in an effort to roll with the turn, as he rolled and twisted, he lost the ball. And that's a big win by Cabella.
But back to your original point, too, on it, if officials, and I know I've talked to enough officials, they're actually told, now that you have the comfort of replay behind you, let the play go on, and we can always blow the whistle, or we can always bring the play back, but it's hard to project what would happen in the future. That's why all these players are always told, make a clear recovery. And so you may think that the play's over and the ball's on the ground and you see guys jumping on it, and you're like, what are you doing? What's a waste? No, because in case there is actually a fumble, you need to show a clear recovery to the replay booth. And so a lot of guys will be jumping on random footballs just to say, okay, well, just in case, I'm going to make sure. And so BYU did the right thing, but because they blew the whistle too early, you're right, kept a touchdown off the board.
So stupid. So I'm actually going to send this video out. So I recorded this off Monday Night Football last night. Okay, so Panthers 49ers, if you didn't watch this game, it was a pretty good game. 49ers go get and win. Did you see afterwards the pushing and shoving?
Yeah.
Somebody takes Yeah, somebody takes a shot in the groin, and he waited until the handshake line to take care of business and smacks the guy across the head. But here you've got Young is throwing a pass out to the flats. Okay, so you tell me if this is a Gator roll, because this is essentially exactly –
It's not a Gator roll.
That's not a Gator roll, right?
Nope.
I'm actually going to tweet this out right now, and I'm going to say Gator roll or not. And I'm going to see how many morons out there understand what a Gator roll is.
Yeah, that most definitely is not.
A Gator roll is it's a death roll. I'm trying to pull your lower leg off of your upper leg. I'm trying to tear ligaments. I'm trying to dislocate knees. I'm trying to hurt your ankle. And if it tears something in your foot, then it tears something in your foot. That's a Gator roll. If you're still running the ball and I've got a hold of your leg, I have to get you down.
My job depends on it.
Because guess what? If I let go of the leg, I just don't want to.
Don't want to hurt him.
And you go for an extra 10 yards in the first down to sustain a drive. Now I'm the idiot.
Yeah. Yep. All
Scotty,
right.
am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all on this one. Not even close to being wrong on this. Hans and Scotty, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. We'll wrap up this bad boy next and get you ready for JJ and Alex straight ahead. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.